Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Electro Lurker. Using my webcam this week to try to save hard drive space. Got a lot of video projects on the go right now, so I'm trying to save space on the MacBook. And yeah, I know it's almost Wednesday, but again, I think it worked out because it seems like every time I delay doing the Lurker, I always tend to catch some cool stuff that goes down. And we'll get into that in a bit. Anyway, this week I want to kind of continue off on this whole debate about whether or not to bring Vertify to the States. Last time I checked, which was like 5 minutes ago, looks like about 170 people have voted, so that's pretty insane. Definitely a huge response. The yes side is winning. But one thing I want to bring up, and this is actually something that Atomic from Montreal brought up, aka Russian Boy Dan on YouTube, is that in Russia there's actually three vertifies. There's one in Moscow, and then there's two others in two different cities. So that's also something that technology could do if he decides to get vertified. He can kind of sub-license it out, maybe give a license to someone in Texas, then a sub-license to another guy on the East Coast, but he could probably also do the same thing with Major League Electro. So if you haven't voted in this yet because you think like that you live far away and that all battles just happen in California, I would highly suggest that you rethink that. But also the bottom line is that unless you live in a city with like I would say more than 15 people or so, or unless you live in an area with more than 15 people, you're probably going to have to do some traveling anyway. So if you're voting yes just because you think that at some point you'll be able to get a sub license and have a vertified in your city that has three people, then yeah, you might want to rethink that. I don't know, it's up to technology, I guess, but having a vertified with three people probably isn't too fun. So anyway, biggest news of the week is this guy named Xoves, or I don't know how you pronounce, like Xoves, like Xoves, or like Joves, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but anyway, so this guy, let's just call him X. This guy X or Joves, basically he started dancing in late 2006, probably the same time the technology started dancing. Except for the past 4 years, he's basically been living in a vacuum. He had no idea that technology existed, no idea that there was a Dance Generation USA or that there was any. He thought he was actually the only dancer in California. And then he basically found out about like Dance Generation by like randomly finding a vid on YouTube. And he dropped a vid, and it's pretty insane. He's in a parkade. He's just going off. Definitely worth checking out. So this kind of brings the question, like, who else is hiding out there? Who else is out there that we don't know exists? Like, for all we know, there could be some guy in Saskatchewan who's as good as Trixie. So that was pretty insane right there. This guy's been dancing for 4 years. No one knew him. He didn't know anyone. All of a sudden, he just bursts onto the scene. And then also yesterday, see, this is why it's a good thing that I waited till today to film. Yesterday, Texas dropped a vid of their Bonanza Electro meet. And I think this is definitely the breakthrough vid for the state of Texas. I think this video has kind of solidified Texas as being an electro state. There's a lot of crazy guys, and I think that in my opinion, Rubik still holds the title for sickest haircut of the year. Still has the sickest haircut, still going hard. There's also a lot of other really sick guys who have a lot of intense style. And speaking of style, in the East Coast, they dropped another vid with this guy from Italy, and also Phobos is in there. And Phobos has somehow successfully figured out how to fuse voguing and Milky Way. I had no idea that this was possible. I've been trying to pick up voguing slowly over the past few weeks, and I was under the impression that the only way you could combine the two is if you do kind of like one phrase of voguing and then go into Milky Way, but he's fused it. He's got like vogue and milky elements in kind of the same phase of dancing. So definitely really insane. Takes a real dancer to do that. And then finally, about a couple hours ago, technology dropped a behind the shoot with Stop and Electro. And this is, I would say, probably one of the funnest behind the shoots in a while. Normally in behind the shoots, it's kind of like people who come in, they're like, I've been dancing for 7 months. I dance electro. I dance with my friends. You know, it's like that. It's like people are like falling asleep in front of the lens. But this is definitely one of the funnest behind the shoots. So just if you're looking for something fun to watch, I'd recommend this. So yeah, overall pretty wild week in electro. So yeah, basically, if you haven't voted already on the Dance Generation USA website, head down there and vote, because no matter where you live in the States, you're going to be affected by whatever the outcome of this decision is. I don't know exactly when the polls close on this one, but I'm guessing that they're not going to be open indefinitely. So head down there right away, cast your vote. I'm like yawning and shit. It's been like plus 30 today. I was like dancing all day. But anyway, so yeah, I'll see you next week. Hopefully we can get back on schedule and start doing videos with the actual camera again. So yeah, I'll see you next week. Peace.